Ow!
God, I'm sorry.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. I haven't had any food today.
Oh, you're fired.
What?
You're fired.
What for? Facial sabotage?
Jenny?
Problem?
I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to both of them.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week. Jenny?
I'm sorry, Kath, you're going to have to leave.
Not letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
10 seconds,
That's
everybody.
all part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Going in
high and mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
You'll have me fired
3.
Don't tempt me. Good evening. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with Advance in charge, we'll be fine. Of course, the rest of the world will want us to fail, or it'll be their billionaires next. But I trust Julia and Peter.
What are your reaction to the sanctions?
Well, I think it's fucking outrageous. My mom needs insulin. Am I supposed to get her transitioned? What's the government doing about it, eh?
What do you think about all these sanctions?
I doubt it make a lot of difference, Pet. I've lived through 2 world wars and I smoke 40 a day. And if that ain't killed me, I doubt this will either.
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever, and this team is on your side. Thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out. Thanks, Patrick. Important stuff.
Controversial Prime Minister Julia Salisbury attempted to assuage growing public concerns with the following official statement released earlier today.
The international sanctions declared against this country today by the World Council remind us that now, more than ever, we need to come together as a team. Since coming to power, we have eradicated poverty and, as a consequence, seen crime fall to levels previously thought impossible. Our schools, hospitals and youth clubs are thriving, and our transition centres have enabled many thousands to unburden their loved ones with dignity. In any sane world, we would be held up as a model to emulate. Evidently, this is not that world. The privileged few have lobbied, and now they are striking back. But we will not cower before their tantrums. And we encourage other progressive nations of the world to continue to trade, visit, and share their cultures with ours. Do not be afraid. We have more friends than we can count. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
Reassuring stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our refreshingly different government? Robin Short found out.
Hi there, I was wondering if you could spend a moment to give us your thoughts on the government. Honestly, I think they're doing a great job. I know the assets and world checks have made the difference for us for the cost of the little one. And people seem, happier in the main. I always said things would get better with a woman in charge.
I was wondering if you could tell me what you think of the government.
What? That shower of iridescent pricks, punishing success and rewarding laziness? They're taking this country down the bloody Swanee. And it's not just me that thinks so. My wife Iris, she agrees.
Hi there, Robin Short, National Nightly News. I was wondering if I could get your thoughts on the current government.
I'm not really very interested in politics, really. As Mother always said, leave politics to the politicians, Malcolm.
Over to you, fellas. Global mega corporation Rymmington-Svist today announced that trials have successfully completed on their groundbreaking male contraceptive product, Responsibility.
The drug has been passed by the government for general release, but the small print warns that, in rare cases, side effects can include blurred vision, enlarged genitalia, and increased risk of stroke. No double entendre intended.
But what do you, the public, think of Sophia Rymmington's latest venture? Patrick?
So what are your feelings on the new contraceptive pill?
I think it's a great idea. A big step forward for equality. Sophia Rymmington is the best thing that has ever happened to that company.
Would you take the male contraceptive pill?
No, mate. Her body, her baby, her problem.
How progressive of you.
What'd you say?
Nothing. What are your thoughts on the new male contraceptive pill?
I'm doing that now, are they? I can't see what's wrong with a washable lamb's bladder. It was fine for me and Harold. All 17 of my kids use the same method to this day. And my firstborn even uses the same bladder. Still at my age, who cares?
Okay, all right, yeah.
A Flard day's night. Following the release of the Flardmaster 5000, production of Flards are at an all-time high, requiring the new manufacturing facility in Grizzleford to move to 24-hour-a-day production.
With people finding more and more uses for the ever-versatile Flard, the team at Rymmington-Svist certainly have their hands full keeping up with demand.
So, is there anything better than a handful of Flards? We asked Patrick to find out. Patrick?
Do you have an opinion of Flards at all?
Oh my God, I love Flards. Doesn't everyone? Do you even remember when we didn't have Flards and we had to rely on Werbs? Oh, I'd never go back.
What's your opinion of Flards?
I'd get them banned, mate. Flards killed 3 members of my family and more than one pet. We should have stuck with Werbs. It was safer then.
Could I ask you for your opinion of Flards?
Of what pet?
Flards.
What are they?
You know, Flards, like well, Flards, everyone knows what Flards are. Flards.
I don't know, don't care.
Oh.
Is it some sort of curd?
Are you okay?
Putting the grown-ups to shame. An award today for Camp Busyfingers, which continues to break all production expectations.
A slightly dazed-looking Sophia Rymmington presented young foreman Alfie Plank and his team with a certificate, statuette and a moderately generous tuck shop voucher.
So, how do the public feel about the Youth Employment Opportunity Scheme? Patrick Bannon again.
What are your thoughts on Camp Busyfingers?
I love it. I just wish they had these kind of chances when I was at school, because if I had real skills, I probably wouldn't have ended up as a waffle waitress. Good for Rymmington-Svist for giving kids a head start.
What's your opinion of Camp Busyfingers?
What do you think my opinion is? Should be banned. It's bloody child labour. Is that what you like, is it? Children being exploited?
No, don't hurt me, I don't. So what do you think of the Youth Employment Opportunity Scheme?
Sounds all right to me.
It could be seen as child labour.
Well, then it sounds bad to me.
Do you know what it is?
Nope, don't know, don't care. You got luck, love.
Really? Yes.
A whole lot of problems. Protests were held today at the controversial construction site for Rymmington-Svist's physics-defying MOOBS project. Since digging straight through the earth began 6 months ago, the project has been beset by problems, including localised tremors and the heat deaths of many of the workforce.
Residents of the nearby town of Calamity today converged on the construction site with sincere, if misspelt, placards, demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried out.
Of course, that's half a world away. But what does this country think? Patrick.
How do you feel about the MOOBS project?
Oh my God, I love Sophia Rymmington. Imagine a tunnel straight through the planet. That's the sort of big idea we need. Oh, she's a visionary.
What's your opinion of the MOOBS project?
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What's to stop it, right? Dropping out the other end and just falling forever.
Gravity?
No, it don't exist.
Oh, yeah. So, any thoughts about the MOOBS project, one way or the other?
Well, that is something I really care about.
Fantastic, great. So, what do you think about it? Coughing? So yeah, the MOOBS project.
Well, ever since Harold grew his, we've had much better options on Tassel Tuesdays.
No, we're not talking about that, are we? We're talking about the tunnel through the earth.
Oh, that's stupid of me. Well, in that case, I don't really care. I'm indifferent, love.
Pipers at the gates of dawn. Commuters in the capital this morning found themselves surprised and amused by the latest stunt from popular pressure group Disrupt.
Silent protests were held outside underground stations throughout the capital, bringing a pleasantly surreal quality to the morning commute.
Unless, like me, you have a phobia of mimes.
But how do we, as a country, really feel about Disrupt? Robin?
The delicate sound of thunder. A frightening start for commuters this morning, who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their trains.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the silent figures who stood motionless outside every major station in the capital. Radical extremist group Disrupt, who organised the show of strength, refused to comment on the meaning of the strange protest.
Or to apologise to this presenter for making him drop his morning bagel in surprise.
But how do we feel about these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods? Robin found out.
A momentary lapse of reason? Commuters across the capital found themselves somewhat bemused by the latest stunt by controversial protest group Disrupt.
In a baffling start to the day, commuters found performers outside every major station, all dressed and posed identically. Whether we're supposed to be amused or intimidated is anybody's guess, Jeremy, but most commuters didn't even stop to notice.
Well, as long as it's not some grand contemporary dance, it's probably harmless.
But how do we all feel about Disrupt and their eclectic tactics? Robin found out.
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Ah, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Oh, Iris doesn't speak on mine, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love? Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the oiks for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help? Can I ask your opinions on Disrupt?
Are those the guys in black with the orange fist thing?
That's right.
Can I be honest?
Of course. This is journalism.
They scare me a bit.
Do you have any feelings about Disrupt?
It's all a bit noisy for me, really. As Mother always said, leave the rebelling to the rebels, Malcolm.
Bubbling up, intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and Dr. Ingrid Svorsborg-Hawkensford today sent a blueprint of the escape craft in which they hope to finally leave Dante's taint.
With expert opinions of the plan running the gamut from optimistically engineered to that looks like something my granddad made in his shed, it sounds like the unfortunate team are going to need all the thoughts and prayers they can get.
So what should we think about the escape plan? Patrick Bannon again.
So I'd imagine that you think this is a great plan.
Oh my God! How did you know? It's a brilliant idea. I hope everyone gets behind them so that they know that we're with them. In spirit, of course. I can't actually go diving because I'm scared of salt.
Dare I ask you about the blueprints?
Well, mate, I've never been a submarine engineer, but I have tinkered with a few motors in my time, and I can tell you that thing is not going to work. I'd rather trust my life to Uncle Pat. And I murdered him 10 years ago.
Oh, what? It's because you're joking. It's funny. Are you...
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, don't worry, they're going to cut all this, aren't they? It's disgusting. For God's sake. Christ almighty. Oh, Jesus, wept. Have you thought about quitting smoking?
Right. No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
The trapped scientists.
Oh, yeah, right. Don't really care.
Brilliant.
Feast or famine? Resourceful doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg-Horgensford today announced their first successful harvest in Dante's taint. Although they can currently only grow a few fungal strains, the scientists seem to be staying positive, as the following picture shows.
The undauntable scientists chose to try and survive in the cave system while the complex rescue operation inches forward up here on dry land.
Let's hope they like stroganoff.
But with Advance planning to spend an eye-watering amount of public money on the rescue craft, we asked Patrick Bannon to find out what we should all be thinking about the accelerating costs.
What are your thoughts on the costs of the rescue?
Oh my God, Patrick Bannon, wash your mouth out with soap. You can't put a value on human life. You have to spend whatever it takes, because one day you might be trapped in an underwater cave system and you would want exactly the same.
I don't think so, actually, because for legal reasons, we're actually not allowed within 31 yards of the coastline. So. This rescue is going to be expensive. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't want to sound cruel, mate, but fuck them.
Oh.
I mean, if they found some rare rocks down there, would I have got a share of the profits? Nah, of course not. So why am I expected to pay now it's all gone tits up? Are you going to pay? Are you?
How much do you want? I think of, oh, God. Yeah, don't worry, they're going to cut all this, aren't they? It's disgusting. For God's sake. Christ almighty. Oh, Jesus, wept. Have you thought about quitting smoking?
Right. No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
The trapped scientists.
Oh, yeah, right. Don't really care.
Brilliant.
Injury time? Fierce rival doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg-Horgensford today sent a joint statement to the surface appealing for an urgent shipment of supplies.
After breaking into two warring factions, things seem to have gone from bad to worse for the ill-fated expedition. They look like they could really use some supplies, Jeremy.
Or possibly a peace negotiator.
But with the pair arguably being their own worst enemies, how should we feel about sending them the resources they need to carry on? Patrick Bannon found out.
Surely you can't be happy with supporting both sides in a conflict?
Oh, it's all just good fun, isn't it? Anyway, you can't just arm one side, Patrick, you silly fool. We should definitely send them supplies. They're still people after all, even if they are having a bit of a tiff.
How do you feel about sending supplies?
No fucking way. Let them kill each other. Maybe they'll learn something. Work with my kids.
Yeah, don't worry, they're going to cut all this, aren't they? It's disgusting. For God's sake. Christ almighty. Oh, Jesus, wept. Have you thought about quitting smoking?
Right. No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
The trapped scientists.
Oh, yeah, right. Don't really care.
Brilliant.
Build that wall. Divided doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg-Horgensford today sent an intriguing blueprint to the surface for a simple solution to their increasingly isolationist communities.
In an accompanying statement, the pair reported that the current system of a dotted line painted on the floor has proven unreliable, especially after a few drinks.
But how should we feel about sending construction materials to this disparate community? Patrick Bannon again.
So, do you think we should help with this whole wall thing?
Absolutely! After all, we do all get on with our neighbours. But I am still glad that I have a high fence so I can play with Mr. Barrington in privacy.
Is that your boyfriend?
My vagina.
How much help should we give the trapped scientists with their wall?
How much? I'll tell you how much. This much.
Don't hit me!
You're right.
Yeah, don't worry, they're going to cut all this, aren't they? It's disgusting. For God's sake. Christ almighty. Oh, Jesus, wept. Have you thought about quitting smoking?
Right. No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
The trapped scientists.
Oh, yeah, right. Don't really care.
Brilliant.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team membership cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, vitally, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards? Oh, yeah, fantastic. I'm applying today. I mean, why wouldn't you? What are these protesters doing? They don't want us to know who their names are. Besides, have you seen the savings you can get? I'm getting one for the little one as well.
How adorable.
Yeah. Gonna be a proper little team member, aren't you? Yes. He smiled. He smiled.
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody not. It's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's, would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheon up your derry hair.
Oh, crikey!
They should call them what they are. They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
Oh, I'm really not happy, Algernon. I'm so sorry.
Crikey.
Team membership cards.
I don't really join things as a rule. As Mother always said, membership is mostly for unmentionables, Malcolm.
And finally tonight, back of the net, popular sports personality Johnny Hamsleeves and his fiancée Tiffany Lamour were spotted out today doing a little shopping for what many are already calling the greatest wedding ever.
We can only assume that Tiffany's latest show, My Teenage Secretions, has sold better than expected, as by the looks of things, the whole affair's about to become more expensive than Lil C's shoe collection.
I don't know who that is.
But what should your opinion be of this extravagant display of wealth?
And finally tonight, hospital pass. New images reach us today of brave Johnny Hamsleeves and his doting partner Tiffany Lamour in their ongoing struggle against his horrific mystery illness.
Tiffany was forced to cancel her latest show, These Hotel Sheets and What I Did on Them, in order to devote more time to selflessly looking after the much-loved multimillionaire.
I'm sure the art world will recover.
With some critics questioning her motives, what should your opinion be of the controversial artist for at least appearing to stand by her man?
And finally tonight, game of two halves. Fresh out of rehab, repentant celebrity sportsman Johnny Hamsleeves is promising to turn over a new leaf.
In a surprisingly energetic appearance on the Whitney Chinwag show this morning, Johnny showed everyone he's certainly full of life and raring to go.
You better not try that on our sofas. I doubt they'll survive the frenzy.
But what should we think of this exuberant behaviour? Patrick?
And finally tonight, getting stuck in a shameless attempt to cash in on his bad boy status, shamed celebrity Johnny Hamsleeves announced a new line of real ale at a press conference earlier today.
The new brew, entitled Headbutt Ale in reference to his controversies of last year, promises a night you'll pretend you regret.
Or possibly a night you'll pretend you remember.
So what should we all think of Johnny's latest attempt to market his notoriety? Patrick?
Oh my God, fantastic!
Disgusting.
Don't really care, love.